Q3, a big, ugly miss for Tesla. Or was it? I don't think so, but we'll have a discussion about that. I'm Brian. Welcome to my Tesla Weekend. If you tuned in yesterday, you got quite a treat. I was scheduled to go live at 4:45 a.m., and I should have, but I couldn't sleep. So I went ahead and went live 2 hours earlier, and it was a lot of fun. So many great people hanging out. We got up to about 1,500 people on the stream at one time, and we answered all the questions, all of them. That's still up if you want to go check it out. Maybe you should. Quick thanks to newest and upgrading patrons. New is Eric, and upgrading is Ocular 3XT1000. Thank you guys for your support. It's how I'm able to actually, make videos and do these things. Thank you. I appreciate that. So let's just talk about it. Let's talk about it, huh? Production and deliveries. Production was 430, 488, and deliveries 435, 059. Pretty close numbers. Did draw down inventory a little bit, but not as much as some people were thinking. Why not? Why didn't it draw it down? Well, part of it was, the inventories reached all kinds of new lows. Surely they must have driven it down some more than that, right? No, because we know there was a ton of Model 3 fresh Highlands that went to Europe. When they're on a boat, you can't sell them. As the company gets bigger and bigger, you'll never get back down to 1 or 2 days of inventory remaining. It's just not how it works. So the fact that they were able to overdo it by, 5,000 is still good. That's like, a considerable amount of production that they sold from inventory that they had already built. It's great. But oh boy, I'm so concerned. I'm so concerned because, Wall Street was expecting a whole lot. Let's look at these numbers. We're looking at deliveries is what we're focused on here, 435. So let's look at some of the prognosticators. James Stevenson, I cannot underscore enough at 435. Now, I had tweeted that he had missed by 59 units, and he corrected me saying, well, I was wrong. My actual forecast was 436, 428, but I figured that tiny difference of rounding when Tesla Karavs had said 435 was close enough. It's not going to matter. I'm not going to be that close. He was still the most accurate. Off by less than, 1%. 436. He was off by 1,600. That's very close. Less than 1% miss. But that meant the rest of us really weren't that far off. I was at the high end of the pack. I'm often an outlier. This isn't a big outlier number. Emmett is very bullish. The fact that I came in above him means I was more bullish still. But who was the most wrong of all? See, I'd feel bad if I was off, if I was the only one off, or if I was off by some huge margin. I was off by 2.4%. Wall Street consensus, 454, 809. They blew it. And actually, I was only off by about 1% on my production number. My production number was, 2-3%. 2%, something like that. Not too bad. How did Wall Street miss so bad? How did the analysts get it so wrong? Because they always do. They got it wrong because they knew that there was going to be factory shutdowns. I said it 6 days into the quarter. On April 6th, I think I ran my production estimate where I said, we're going to have a down quarter. There's going to be retooling. And that wasn't something I knew. That was something I guessed. That was something I believed would happen. It would have to happen. Highland's coming. And I knew that. And then a couple of weeks later, Elon confirmed it on the earnings call. He said, we've got factory retooling to do. So how did Wall Street miss it? Well, they missed it because they knew that the Highland retooling was underway and that it was going to be barely, was barely a blip. What they seemed to miss was that the retooling in Texas was substantial. It was big. And they blew it. And the headlines, of course, read, Tesla misses. No, they didn't. Wall Street missed. Wall Street missed. They love to blame somebody else for their problems. These analysts at Wall Street make a cajillion dollars. They make $400,000 a year coming up with what I can only describe as bad numbers. The number came in right in between these two here, right in between these two. Peggy, I think, was the closest. Yeah, he was the closest No, James was still the closest. Peggy did very good. He's a very smart guy. People give him some grief, apparently, according to him on X. I hope they don't. They need to stop that. They give him grief because he doesn't own a Tesla. But he has a better reason than I do. My reason is I can't afford one that would fit my boys. I'm working on it. So the Wall Street loves to blame other people for their problems. That's just kind of their jam. That's what they're good at. That's what they're good at. Numbers, not so much. Remember, they don't get paid more when they're right. They get paid when you trade. They love making you trade. And I did get a comment from a gentleman saying, why do you Tesla bulls always overinflate it so the stock will crash afterwards? You know better. Look, we all do our math differently. All of us do our math differently. I know James's spreadsheets are very in-depth and complicated. I'm very impressed by the lengths he goes to come up with what are generally very good numbers. Sometimes he misses. Troy's numbers, he uses a very different methodology still. Rob shows his math. Almost all these people show the math. We all show how we get here. If you've got a better model, make it, share it. Let us see what you see. Don't just say that we're ultra bulls, so we're given ultra bullish numbers. That's not what I do. And I'm generally very accurate, often the most accurate. This quarter was an outlier for me, but still, I only missed by 2.4%. That's very good. And Wall Street missed by more. So they can stuff it. By the way, I am going to be hosting an event in Oregon on Sunday, next Sunday, this coming Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., Electric Vehicle Test Drive and Information Expo. It's going to be held at the McAdams Service Center of Tesla there in Oregon, in Portland. We're going to have guest speakers. We're going to have a ton of cars on display. I'll be doing 3 different presentations, and it's going to be great. There could even be, we're pretty sure there's going to be, an e-Cascadia electric semi on display. Very exciting stuff. And some other stuff as well. And if you do a test drive, you get $8 off from the Mad Greek Deli. That's a bargain, I hope. So it'll be fun. Hope you get a chance to come out and check it out. So what does this mean for the rest of the year? What it means is, can they hit 1.8? That was the big thing in this, is they said the volume target of 1.8 million remains unchanged. Can they hit it? Well, they're at 1.35 in production at the moment. Oh, that's, in production they're at 1.35. Oh, I see. Interesting. Okay, yeah. They're at 1.35. So they only need another, what is that, 650? Oh, I guess they need, oh no, that would be to 2 million. They need another 450,000. And they did that they did 479 in Q2. They're going to have, I expect, a little price decrease on the Model Y this quarter. Maybe not in all markets, but in some. A little price decrease. We might see in some markets they've already done a credit for to buy down your interest rate to 1.9%. That would motivate some people to make the move. And if any of those things happen, they'll increase Model Y sales. And then we've got the other big thing, a little thing called Cybertruck. Maybe you've heard of it. That's going to come out. We're going to see some numbers. I don't know how many. But again, they only need 450,000 more units to hit the 1.8 million target. And 450, in Q1 they did 440. In Q2 they did 480. 450 in the bag. In the bag, baby. So then the question is, how much above 1.8 is it going to go? And the answer is not much. Some people have said, 2.1, 2.1. Can we do it? Not this quarter. Not this quarter. But then next year begins, we'll have potentially increase Model Y production in Europe and in Texas. And then we'll have Cybertruck ramping. Big time. Good stuff. Very exciting. So what did I miss? What did I misunderstand? Leave it all in them comments below and stay tuned. Stay juicy. And I can't wait to hear from you clever robots, perhaps as early as next weekend in Oregon.